Good morning, family. Excuse me. Not good morning, good evening.
And good afternoon. But
From
we
what
know not when you'll be looking at this, but because of that, we want to add that in.
So, I am Arlene Kahet. Kahet means purifying light of God. And this is King Teasdale, also known as King Obadele. Well, yeah, I don't know how to say it.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Let me hear.
Obadele.
Giver and receiver of a deeper wisdom. I honor the divine in you. We honor the divine in you, and those who have come before us, and those not yet actualized. As we present to you another reading from Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet, because it is a masterful piece of work which has a deeper meaning, which is necessary to share, especially in the days and times in which we are dealing with.
Thank you very much, sir.
But we have to make room for all of us. What we're going to do today, because there has been a variety of readings thus far, we're going to start from the beginning of the book. For those who have not heard the beginning of the book, the reading from the beginning of the book, but know that we have been doing these posts on Facebook for a few weeks now, and to capture those chapters which have already been shared, feel free to go through the Facebook page. King Teasdale, I think we have it posted on the Divine Inspiration Network. And
we will have it posted on the Divine Inspiration Network,
okay,
and the Healing Gathering.
And probably King Obadele, the Oracle page as well.
Okay, you're going to have to do that part.
Yeah, that's cool. So, with that being said, Arlene is going to begin our reading. Okay. And for the most part, that would be a good place to start. Just the first segment inside the book says that this book, which is Gibran's masterpiece, I keep saying Gibran, and I would say oftentimes Gilbran, but the guy's name is Gibran, Gibran, brand, like brand. So I do apologize for the misspelling, mispronunciation so many times before. So this book, which is Gibran's masterpiece, has become one of the beloved classics of our time, even tonight, even to this day. Published in 1923, it has been translated into more than 20 languages, and the American edition alone has sold more than 4 million copies. Also, I want to bring to your attention that the actress who is actually working on bringing this to the screen, she played in the movie with Will Smith, Wild Wild West. I think she's Lebanon raised or something. Her name just escapes me right now.
Selma Hayek?
Yes, Selma Hayek. She is actually intending to bring this to movie form. We have yet not heard as to when that's going to happen, but we want to thank her for the intention, as we wish to thank our friends. Michael, what's happening? Rock, blessings. We're going to go and start from the beginning, and what we're going to do when we read the introduction, then we're going to go right immediately to speak to us of buying and selling. And so those sections that we've already read are already posted in our Facebook page. And Arlene is about to begin her reading. Each time we do this, we try to become more and more proficient at it, because we may not be actors, but we're going to act like we're actors. And eventually, I'm going to keep quiet. Now we're going to read.
Al-Mustafa, the chosen and the beloved, who was drawn unto his own day, had waited 12 years in the city of Orphalese for his ship that was to return and bear him back to the isle of his birth. And in the 12th year, on the 7th day of Elihu,
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, the month of reaping, he climbed the hill without the city walls and looked seaward, and he beheld his ship coming with the mist. Then the gates of his heart were flung open, and his joy flew far over the sea. And he closed his eyes and prayed into the silences of his soul. But as he descended the hill, a sadness came upon him, and he thought in his heart,
How shall I go in peace and without sorrow? Nay, not without a wound in my spirit shall I leave this city. Long were the days of pain I have spent within its walls, and long were the nights of aloneness. And who can depart from his pain and his aloneness without regret? Too many fragments of the spirit have I scattered in these streets, and too many are the children of my longing that walk naked among these hills. And I cannot withdraw from them without a burden and an ache. It is not a garment I cast off this day, but a skin that I tear with my own hands. Nor is it a thought I leave behind me, but a heart made sweet with hunger and with thirst. Yet I cannot tarry longer. The sea that calls all things unto her calls me, and I must embark. For to stay, though the hours burn in the night, is to freeze and crystallize and be bound in a mold. Vain would I take with me all that is here, but how shall I? A voice cannot carry the tongue and the lips that gave it wings. Alone must it seek the ether, and alone and without his nest shall the eagle fly across the sun.
Now when he reached the foot of the hill, he turned again towards the sea, and he saw his ship approaching the harbor. And upon her prow the mariners, the men of his own land. And his soul cried out to them, and he said,
Sons of my ancient mother, you riders of the tides, how often have you sailed in my dreams? And now you come in my awakening, which is my deeper dream. Ready am I to go, and my eagerness with sails full set awaits the wind. Only another breath shall I breathe in this still air. Only another loving look cast backward, and then I shall stand among you, a seafarer among seafarers. And you, vast sea, sleepless mother, who alone are peace and freedom to the river and the stream. Only another winding will this stream make, only another murmur in this glade. And then shall I come to you a boundless drop to a boundless ocean.
And as he walked, he saw from afar men and women leaving their fields and their vineyards and hastening towards the city gates. And he heard their voices calling his name and shouting from field to field, telling one another of the coming of his ship. And he said to himself,
Shall the day of parting be the day of gathering? Pause. I don't know. It's like I envision this, and there's a part of me that feels this in such a way that is hard to describe. I don't know if it is necessarily my future. Hey, Lenny. Or if it is my past that I feel within my heart, but I just wanted to share that every time I do this, it captures me. It's just I don't understand it, but I love it. Moving forward, I shall continue the reading. And shall it be said that my eve was in truth my dawn? And what shall I give unto him who has left his plow in mid-furrow, or to him who has stopped the wheel of his winepress? Shall my heart become a tree heavy laden with fruit, that I may gather and give unto them? And shall my desires flow like a fountain, that I may fill their cups? Am I a harp, that the hand of the mighty may touch me, or a flute, that his breath may pass through me? A seeker of silences I am, and what treasure have I found in silences, that I may dispense with confidence? If this is my day of harvest, in what fields have I sowed the seed, and in what unremembered seasons? If this indeed be the hour in which I lift up my lantern, it is not my flame that shall burn therein. Empty and dark shall I raise my lantern, and the guardian of the night shall fill it with oil, and he shall light it also. Okay, you say this.
These things he said in words, but much in his heart remained unsaid. For he himself could not speak his deeper secret. And when he entered into the city, all the people came to meet him, and they were crying out to him as with one voice. And the elders of the city stood forth and said, Go not yet away from us. A noontide have you been in our twilight, and your youth has given us dreams to dream. No stranger are you among us, nor guest, but our son and our dearly beloved. Suffer not yet our eyes to hunger for your face.
And the priest and priestess said unto him,
Let not the waves of the sea separate us now, and the years you have spent in our midst become a memory. You have walked among us a spirit, and your shadow has been a light upon our faces. Much have we loved you, but speechless was our love, and with veils has it been veiled. Yet now it cries aloud unto you, and would stand revealed before you. And even has it been that love knows not its own depth until the hour of separation. And Others came also and entreated him, but he answered them not. He only bent his head, and those who stood near saw his tears falling upon his breast. And he and the people proceeded towards the great square before the temple.
And there came out of the sanctuary a woman whose name was Almitra, and she was a seerist. And he looked upon her with exceeding tenderness, for it was she who had first sought and believed in him when he had been but a day in their city. And she hailed him, saying,
Prophet of God, in quest of the uttermost long have you searched the distances for your ship. And now your ship has come, and you must needs go. Deep is your longing for the land of your memories and the dwelling place of your greatest desires, and our love would not bind you, nor our needs hold you. Yet, this we ask ere you leave us, that you speak to us and give us your truth. And we will give it unto our children, and they unto their children, and it shall not perish. In your aloneness you have watched with our days, and in your wakefulness you have listened to the weeping and the laughter of our sleep. Now therefore disclose us to ourselves, and tell us all that has been shown to you of that which is between birth and death. And he answered,
People of Orphalese, of what can I speak save of that which is even now moving within your souls?
Then said Almitra, speak to us of love.
And that section is the section that we started this process with. Hey, Fran, how are you? Blessings. I am reminded to share that that section of love is in our archives. You can scroll back to King's page and you will find us there speaking of love and the other sections of which we've already spoken. But tonight, we shall share with you, speak to us of buying and selling. So the first sections was on love. The next was marriage and children. Then on giving, followed with on eating and drinking, on work, and on joy and sorrow, on houses. And last week we spoke on clothes. And the interesting thing about each one of these, it speaks of these, of our experience in them, but not of them so much as it speaks of our soul's experience because of them, or through them, or as they are present within our existence. So, and a merchant said, speak to us of buying and selling, not snorting their nose like I just did. I do apologize. And as we read through this, we will come back, as we have previously, to break it down from what we see as the spiritual truth that lies behind all of this. So we're going to read this whole section first, and then we're going to come back and break it down because it is deep. It is extremely deep. I don't know, you get the chance to read it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right. So, and then we have a discussion there, and we ask that you guys participate. If there's a question that you have, feel free to bring it in and put it to the screen.
Hi, Nicole.
Hey. And he said Okay. And the merchant said, speak to us of buying and selling. And he answered and said, to you the earth yields her fruit. The earth yields her fruit, and you shall not want if you but know how to fill your hands. It is in exchanging the gifts of the earth that you shall find abundance and be satisfied. Yet, unless the exchange be in love and kindly justice, it will but lead some to greed and others to hunger. While in the marketplace, you toilers of the sea and fields and vineyards, meet the weavers and the potters and the gatherers of spices. Invoke then the master spirit of the earth to come into your midst and sanctify the scales and the reckoning that weighs value